You have a favorite porn channel. You know the clip, you've watched it many, many times. But have you ever shared that clip with your partner? As a therapist who works with LGBTQ+ relationships, I have seen firsthand how internalized homophobia can affect relationships. And yes, hiding our desires from our partners is just one of the many ways that this can show up in our partnerships. Hi, my name is Tom Brewitt. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist in California and Colorado, and I help gay couples create thriving relationships that are authentic and fulfilling. So what is internalized homophobia? Internalized homophobia refers to the negative attitudes, beliefs, and feelings that you may have towards your own sexuality. These beliefs may have been internalized from society, family, or religion, and can lead to shame, self-hatred, and fear of rejection. Today, I'm going to explore how internalized homophobia can impact your relationships and what you can do to overcome it. One thing that internalized homophobia can affect with your relationship is potentially through self-sabotage. If you feel shame or self-hatred because of your sexuality, you may engage in behaviors that undermine your relationship. For example, you may push your partner away, refuse to be affectionate, or hide your true feelings. These behaviors can lead to distance and distrust in the relationship, which can ultimately lead to things not working out. Think of the example that I was starting with today. If you feel shame about the porn clip that turns you on, and you don't share that kink with your partner, that will ultimately create distance. A long time pattern of this will most likely lead to a sex life together that is less fulfilling. I have seen it time and time again. Another way that internalized homophobia can impact relationships is through insecurity. If you have negative beliefs about your own queerness, you may feel insecure in your relationship. You may worry that your partner will leave you for someone else, because at the end of the day, you don't feel you're worthy of love and affection. These insecurities can lead to jealousy, possessiveness, and controlling behaviors, which can damage your relationship and erode trust. If you're constantly anxious about the state of your relationship, it'll be harder to be vulnerable and take emotional risks. This, again, can create distance. Think of the example about what turns you on sexually. If you're anxious about the state of your relationship, you're not likely to take a risk and share about your kinks. You can see how this builds. Internalized homophobia can also impact the communication in your relationship. If you're not comfortable in your own skin, it will be hard to share your needs and desires with your partner. You may even feel ashamed or embarrassed about what turns you on sexually, and you may not be able to have open and honest conversations that allow you to coach your partner to better meet your needs. Are you able to openly tell your partner something like, hey, I love it when you kiss my neck, but can you be more aggressive when you do it? There's nothing wrong with that kind of open communication, and I would argue it's essential to keeping a relationship alive. So what can be done to overcome internalized homophobia and improve your relationship? The first step is to recognize and acknowledge the negative beliefs and attitudes that exist, if they exist for you. Be really honest with yourself. Are there still parts of you that are uncomfortable being gay? As Matthew Todd describes in his beautiful book, Straitjacket, many of us as gay kids prayed and hoped that the feelings we had towards other guys would go away. While this can feel like lifetimes ago, it does leave lasting scars for many of us. If there's a small part that wishes we weren't the way that we are, this is going to impact us in our relationships as adults. So take a risk and be very honest with yourself and explore the messages that you internalized from society, family, or religion, and continue to remind yourself that those messages are crap. I also recommend seeking an LGBTQ+ affirmative therapist to work through the shame or the self-hatred or the fear of rejection that may exist. The second step is to practice self-compassion and self-acceptance. I know, easier said than done. This means being kind and understanding towards yourself and not just accepting but celebrating all of who you are. It may involve surrounding yourself with supportive people who accept and celebrate all of who you are, or joining groups or meetups or book clubs, whatever. Someplace where you can feel like you can be fully yourself and celebrated for all the things that make you unique and incredible, because you are. The third step is to communicate openly and honestly with your partner. It may feel scary as hell, but what do I mean when I say communicate openly and honestly? So share your fears and insecurities, as well as your needs and desires. It may also involve setting boundaries and expectations for the relationship and working collaboratively with your partner to build trust and intimacy. One of the common ways this shows up is around negotiating frequency and timing of sex. If one person has a higher sex drive and is asking for sex more often and being rejected, they may stop asking. Tricky as it may be, I recommend that this be a conversation and not a silent retreat. Finally, it is important to recognize that healing from internalized homophobia is a process that takes time and effort, that may involve setbacks and challenges along the way. But with commitment and support, it is possible to overcome the negative beliefs and attitudes that may be impacting your relationship. As queer folks, we may always struggle with some aspect of internalized homophobia. It may show up in different ways at different times in our lives. By being aware of it, we can have more choice in how we engage with this aspect of our lives. In summary, remember, internalized homophobia isn't your fault. If we're looking to place the blame falls on society and the way that we've been let down over the years. The good news is that it doesn't have to impact our relationships for the rest of our lives. By realizing when internalized homophobia is at play, communicating honestly about it with partners and friends, and asking for support if we need it, we can improve our relationships with our partners and ourselves. All right, thanks for watching.